It's hot. Stupid hot. That and more coming up. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today our update's about Hemis, specifically Gen 3 Hemis. This Gen 3 Hemi, and what we've accomplished thus far, I did some math today and looks like right about 22,000 miles on it or something like that. Pretty stout. I talked to Trevor Manton, who made all the Manton stuff in here, you know, Manton push rods, and he was like, "You got how many miles in that thing?" And I was like, at the time I was like a little over 18,000. We're creeping on 20 pretty quick, and I checked the oil indicator deal, and it's about 60%, so about 4,000 miles on it, and it's going. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about a prototype intake manifold we're going to try to bring to market between myself, Andrew of Wizard of Tuning, and James of G1Pro. So check it out. So as you can see in those photos there, at least that's just we're still in the design phase, but that gives you a rough idea what we're looking at. We'll probably change the runners and some other things on the inside, so a lot of those photos I'm not going to share because that's still like up in the air. But right now the goal is zero CFM loss and obviously some velocity gain. We're going to look at a lot of stuff on the market that's not necessarily Hemi conducive or Hemi specific for the head design and how these throttle bodies are placed. This intake in particular is like the NA form. There will be a forced induction form and maybe a nitrous form, or we'll just make sure we have nitrous provisions in the NA intake itself. Looking at running a pretty long runner and shaping it so where none of the cylinders rob each other for air necessarily. We're looking at a LSXR type assembly. If you remember those, the old fast intakes, they come have an upper shell and the trumpets on the inside and lower. But all of these will be Hemi specific. We're not going to copy and paste any LS or modular intake designs and just put Hemi manifold flanges on them, because that's pretty much what most everybody does nowadays. We're looking at designing an intake that specifically, especially in this case, a larger cubic inch Hemi setup that makes power. We're looking at one, maybe two revisions, whatever it takes, not whatever it takes, but within reason, because I have to pay for this stuff out of pocket. I have James and Andrew on board and their design team. James, if you remember, Goertz Performance at one point in time, now it's G1Pro, used to do a lot of work for a lot of companies back in the day, fabricating turbo kits and intake manifolds. He's still doing that, except now he's doing it, from a laptop. We're getting stuff, CAD designed and printed. So we're excited. A lot of knowledge, a lot of information, a lot of skill we're working in. Andrew runs a machine shop, you didn't know, on top of, we're an engine shop on top of tuning, and then is very well involved in the Gen 3 Hemi family. And then there's myself, which is an eclectic line of experience from LS to modular to now the Hemi platform. And so the car will eventually get supercharged, obviously, but we're looking at just trying to maximize the efficiency in this current 426 setup. We've got good flowing heads, the factory Apache heads, which have been proven. Great flowing intake or exhaust system with the Cook's inch and 7/8, long tubes, 3-edge out the back with the Flowmaster system, American Thunder series, I think it is, that I got off of Marketplace for really cheap. And so with that, I'll probably have to buy an actual intake. We're looking at building this intake with a Demon 170 flange, and then you be able to step it down to like an Hellcat or a traditional Hemi throttle body, because since our aim is to make the best flowing, air grabbing, but no loss intake, is to give you all the bells and whistles possible in the base design. So that's why we're going to run with the 170 manifold and then our throttle body flange and kind of go from there. other than that, for the Gen 3 stuff, that's what we got going on in the build. The car's been doing great. Still got an oil leak. Still going to fix it. I'm going to have to pull the trans at some point in time just to go through it because we got a lot of mileage on it. We're going to tow. Wife wants to get a boat and stuff, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, being prior Navy and dealing in small boats. I don't want those problems. But anyway, the car will continue to do family stuff, trips and all this kind of jazz. The next update you see from me will be on the way to and probably leaving Indiana because the parts are here. And boop, right there. So the parts are here. They're in Indiana. I talked to the warehouse. Shipping was confirmed, paid, and everything. I just got to go get them. And so I'm looking at leaving here in about a week or so to go up there to get the pallet in the Durango. So, you know, all the projects, I'll have something, you know, involved with one another. I was going to get a trailer to put the pallet on, but I'm just going to have a little WeatherTech mat that goes in the back when the seats fold down. And I'll just fold the seats down, put the mat in there, open the pallet, take everything off the pallet, just throw it in the car. And then just drive that way. No trailer, no extra toll fees, none of that. And so that's what I'm looking at doing here in about a week. You'll get the parts. So the next update you'll see from me will be talking about the GTO, its parts, and everything we got going on with that. Because we're also getting into manufacturing for the GTO project for the tail housing on the TR6060, if you're not already aware. So I'll go on more into that on the next update. Since I did get funding tentatively approved, I got to go through the paperwork process with the bank, but we're going to looking to get that rolling here in about 30 days. I'll need some people, most likely Australians, to sign up, like 2 or 3 guys who have active projects and can do all the work themselves to help with the R&D process to work out the ins and outs of customizing this tail housing specific for the Adventura swap from 4L65 to TR6066 speed. Since a lot of guys are trying to make more power and race those cars, and since, you know, the GTO we got is the exact same as the Maranaro over there, which is basically the same as the Adventura, which is basically the same as the CV8. The list goes on and on and on. And there could be some of you worldwide, like in the UK, for example, who got the GTO variant over there. I forget what I want to say. They got the Monero version, who want to do an all-wheel drive conversion using those parts. Well, we're going to need to come up with more of these tail housings. And so that's where we're at on that. But other than that, man, it's been a good car. It's been a real good car. We finally resolved the coolant issue that we had. It's been really reliable. It averages about 16-ish city, 18, 19 highway, which isn't too bad, all things considered. It's basically a brick. And that's not without like razor accurate tuning. This is safe. We'll run with this tune that it's been in there since I put the engine in. And we worked the issues we had then. So a lot of things coming, a lot of things changing right before the school year starts, and just bear with me. Just one guy, you know what I mean? And anyways, thanks for watching.